guys, welcome back to BoomX Beauty Beat. It's so great to have you here. We are going to have a fun and interesting time today with Robert Welsh. If you guys don't know who he is, I will be linking his channel down below, and if you do know who he is, I mean, he's a pretty funny British accent makeup artist, and he has been taking off in the last year or so. He's had a YouTube channel for about 5 years, but yeah, it's so weird with YouTube. Sometimes you just, plog along and nothing great's happening, and then all of a sudden, boom, explosion. And I think he's in and around close to 800,000 subscribers now. And he has a bunch of different playlists, and some of them are reaction videos. He also has a twin brother who has a skincare channel, and they're doing some really funny kind of YouTube-y things together on different topics. But, Robert, being on YouTube for 5 years, he's done a lot of instructional videos. He has certain do's and don'ts that I'm going to talk about, and we're going to attempt to do his strategies for makeup artistry. And his strategies are pretty opposite to mine, really, for a lot of things. He likes to do the face after the eyes. He's really reserved on concealer. I'm going to do my best to follow along with his strategies, even though I might be cringing inside. And what else is nice is that he doesn't really believe in the heavy contour thing. He's very particular about placement. He's got, just a lot of quirks. He doesn't like a lot of glitter. He doesn't like Anastasia palettes, so I won't be using any of that. He likes to do padding. He starts the makeup at the center of the face instead of around. Is really particular about highlighter and how he uses his tools and which brushes he uses. We can learn from every single artist on here. There'll be something that you're going to pick up, and I just find it so interesting. One other thing that he does that I just never wear is the halo eye, and we're going to be doing the halo eye and full face with Robert today. As you can see, I don't have makeup on except for I put a bit of my Clinique color corrector on under my eyes because of how little concealer he uses. I'm really scared that my dark eye under eyes are going to just show right through. But I attempted a halo eye yesterday, and I thought my eyes looked bizarro world. They just, because I have an almond shape to them and they're older, it just looked weird, and his eyes are rounder. So that might be a look that looks amazing on you, and it might be a look that doesn't work on your eyes. Who cares? Just try it one time and let's see what happens. He's also very detailed. He's got a really nice touch with his brush strokes. I think he worked for MAC for about 7 years. An interesting, and he's funny. Let's just get started with Robert Welsh. Okay, the tutorial that I'm going to be following is going to be actually the one with his favorite brush set with Sigma Beauty. I've got a lot of Sigma brushes here, so I thought that would be doable. There's one brush that is, coming today that isn't here in time, but I'm going to be doing another video of his, so we'll use it then. It's the 4D brush. It looks really interesting. It's got all these angles to it. And the other thing that I don't have is he's using the Sigma primer on his eyelids. He also absolutely loves the Urban Decay primer potion for the eyes, and he absolutely hates P. Louise base. So he's got all these rules. So basically, we'll start with the primer potion and get that rolling first. And again, he starts on the eyes, which is really, so different. All right, I think this is comparable. This is the Naturals palette from Scott Barnes, and he's going to start this halo eye. He's talking about he's choosing a crease brush, and I was trying to choose something He's basically using a Sigma brush that is slightly rounded at the top. This is quite pointy. This is flatter. This is wider. This is probably the closest that I have. I think that we're going to choose this. This is a Sigma brush. It came in a set. It's a rose gold set. Might not be the absolute identical brush, but we're going to use it anyway. All right, we're going to start off with this color here in Muted. It's kind of just a soft pale color. And he is showing us with the brush. I'm taking up some on my brush. He's showing us, a mirror would help, not to come in from this angle onto the brush, to come in straighter. And he's just coming in and kind of circling around and doing small circles. Let's see. Oh, sorry. No, he's kind of sweeping like this. And then he's going backwards and forwards. And then circling outwards. Okay, so he wants us to get a little color in here. I don't think this color is dark enough, so I'm going to move into Vintage because I can't see the color on my eye at all. So we're going to just move in a little bit darker. And you guys can see from that primer potion, it really aged my eyes in here. I don't like it. All right, this is the E39. He's using the Dome Facility brush. I'm using the, I don't think I have that identical brush. So I'm using the Sigma E39 instead, which is so very, very close. It's got kind of a dome shape to the top of it, and it's smaller. Okay, so he's really particular about the angle that you take, and so I'm going to be taking Foxy, this color here that I was showing you earlier, this darker brown. Can you see my finger? And I am going to follow his instruction. Now he's angling his brush kind of this way and going into the socket. Now you guys can see with my eyes, I have hooded mature eyes and I have almond eyes, so I don't have a socket. It's all meat there. So let's just see how he does the blend here, and I'll follow along.
And I'm just going to poke that right into my socket.
So I'm pretending I have a socket. We'll just do that. So he's going sort of straight on, and he hasn't gone, he's gone about halfway across so far, right in the socket area. You know, his eyebrows look done already. I'm going to quickly go do my eyebrows because I think that will help frame the eye a little better for this. Okay, so I just quickly put on my brows, you guys, because I think his brows are done. Because he's a man, it was sort of hard for me to tell. But yeah, I can see they're really nicely combed out, but he's got really thick brows to begin with, so he doesn't need very much eyebrow makeup. Anyway, I'm watching him work, and basically he's going back to his fluffy brush and just taking it and just making sure that you go over it and blend it, doing the same motions kind of that were done before, just sweeping and smoothing it out, which is a really good practice. I'm with you on that, Robert. Okay, so he doesn't want too much on the lid. Hopefully I haven't done too much on the lid. So the next brush that he's using is a medium fluffer brush, eyeshadow brush, and it's a little bit flatter, if you guys can see the depth of it. He's got his own box set, and so he selected these brushes as the most crucial brushes that you can get or use. All right, this part's kind of crucial. What he's doing here is he's taking, I'm going to take this color Vintage again. It's a lighter color. I would consider him to be kind of a halo expert because I don't know anybody who loves halo as much as he does. And he's taking that and kind of adding a little bit of base down. So halo basically is darker on the outside and darker on the inside. So that's what he's doing, is he's laying a little bit of groundwork down with that Vintage color and just sort of patting that in to kind of give your eye something to grip onto, because he's going to get a lot darker in these zones. And I think what he loves about it is it rounds the eye out. So it's really quite opposite a shape to what I have, to what we're trying to create. So it's an optical illusion that's kind of interesting. So let's see how this goes. So he's kind of leaving the middle blank, in this procedure, and we're going to take a really dark brown color. We'll try with the Femme here. I might touch a little bit into Temptation depending on how dark this looks. And he's taking it and going overlapping with that earlier color. So I'm just going to mix those two together, you guys. I'm bopping. It's just a dark brown. And he's tapping it on the outer corner here. And it's quite dark, so yeah, I'm going to need the Temptation, that darker color. Dark brown. And this is going to look so weird on my eyes, but we're doing it. And then he's tapping the inner corner here. I'm seeing how far he brings that in. It's about like that. We'll just tap the color on and hope for the best. So now he's just going back to his fluffy brush, and he's just really lightly kind of just gently moving the product around, just to kind of, you know, blend it but not over blend it. So just tapping with the fluffy brush that we used earlier and moving that product around ever so slightly. So weird looking. He's just lifting the buff out just a little bit. I got a bit of extra product in there. Do you know what? I accidentally dipped into the dark, so I'm just going to take another clean brush and sort of sweep over that, because that was my bad. It just wasn't looking deep enough in this part here. So okay, now he's taking kind of a soft, you know, soft shimmery light color. This is I'm going to use from Lace. And he's taking that square brush that he had earlier. I'm just going to take off the little bit of that dark product because that won't go well. I'm dipping it into the Lace, and now he's going to tap that and put it right in the center here. And he's bringing it up to about here. So weird looking. And this is the halo part of the party here. This looks so strange to me, to have that center bit look so light. I think it's going to look different on different eye structures and different whatever. This is a real basic kind of halo eye too, so I think this is a good example. And then what he's doing is just taking a fluffy brush and sort of softly cleaning up around the edge. He likes to do tapping too. He doesn't want it to move too much, I think is the idea here. Thank God he's doing concealer now. But this is where it gets kooky for me. Okay, Robert. So he does, I'm going to use my Jouer concealer because it's got the most coverage. So basically he's taking, I'm going to try to do it exactly where he puts it. He's got it here. He's got it here. He's got it here. Here. And he hasn't done foundation first either, and I do foundation first. Normally. Oops. Sorry, Robert. I brought it a little bit in there. I'm excited to put concealer on. This is where he's using that funky 4D brush that I'm waiting for it. The buzzer's probably going to go off any minute. Maybe I'm lucky before the end of this I can at least show you the brush, but I'll use this brush because it's got a nice fine tip to it. This is the Morphe M178 brush, and he's taking it and he's moving the product around with the brush, which again is a different way of doing it, and spreading it out, patting it, and he does take his brush and lift it up in this area. And he's so delicate with his brushwork, I have to say. I could not fully blend that out without using my fingers or a little bit of a beauty blender, so using the brush alone, especially with, you know, my under eyes, I just found it to be difficult. So if you have to use another tool, I think go ahead. Next he's going to do foundation, and the foundation, he's going to use this kabuki brush. I think this is a pretty identical. This is a Sigma flat kabuki brush, and he likes it. It's a little bit damp, I just washed it. Anyways, he likes this brush a lot for foundation, so I'm just going to go into my Huda cheesecake colored foundation, and let's see where he applies it. I know he starts at the middle of the face. So his method is he takes the product right into the brush, puts it in, and then he likes to just stipple it on this way. Let me see his brush strokes.
Bridge here, you can get right into these little bits and get your foundation all in those little corners, which you can do with something like a flat foundation brush, but with a flat foundation brush you don't get that nice surface, that flat round surface, and I just find everything goes on better with the kabuki brushes. I use this for any cream product.
It's kind of all over the place.
Contour, anything where I...
Alright, let's just see what we're doing here. So he's using all these little different motions, stippling motion, circling motion, tapping motion. And he's using, this just isn't enough product. I'm gonna have to get another pump. Clearly, this is foreign for me. Just everything, every single step is foreign. Because he's so delicate with the amount that he uses, is he's gonna go back in with his concealer and his concealer brush that he had, and I'll go back in with this one. And he's doing spot concealing, so he's looking at anywhere. I've got age spots. My under eyes look darker, drier, worse the way that he's doing it. It's not enough coverage for me because I didn't go in with the foundation first. This method definitely in the long term will not work for me, but some of you don't have dark circles and this will work for you. So for somebody with extreme dark circles, this is by far not my favorite method because I get so much coverage out of my foundation first, and using a concealer directly on the skin without it being covered with foundation really ages the under eye. So for those of us mature women, even though he's might seemingly be going in with a lot less product, clearly he's a man, he's younger, he doesn't have these issues, but he has worked as a makeup artist for a very long time. So he must have seen this aging the eyes on mature women, because under my eyes looks I can see through, even though I did color correct, and it looks older under the eyes because the foundation is more forgiving under the eyes than a concealer is. He's using a brush very similar to this. This is also Sigma Soft Blend. Is it identical? It may very well be. Anyway, he's using a pressed powder instead of a loose powder. I'm going to use my MAC NC25, and he's getting it kind of fully covered here. And then he begins on the forehead and kind of goes back and forth, first on the forehead and down the nose and around the nose. He's taking his 4D brush and he's kind of going in there and really setting under eyes. A domed utility brush, and he's tapping into like a dark reddy brown. We'll just do that instead. And looking up, he's pretty dramatic with how far he drags it down, and he likes it really low. So now he's just taking the diffuse crease brush and blending this out. I find that I get little flecks of powder in my eye. I don't know how other people don't experience it. He seems to be adding back in a little bit of kind of a shimmery sparkle color. So I'm just going to take this color from the Scott Barnes palette, and he's just adding a little bit of extra shimmer in here. And with contour, he's using his kabuki brush again. I'm just gonna kind of make sure there's not too much foundation in there. And let's see what color he uses. I'm gonna go into the Scott Barnes palette regardless and sort of, he's using a color very similar to this diced color here. So we'll just take that, and he's taking it onto the brush in his contour area. I've never used a kabuki on my cheekbone, but it hopefully will work. He doesn't like to use too bronzy a color in the cheekbone area. He likes it to have a grayish tone to it. And he likes to do a completely different bronzing to make sure that you're not using your bronzer as a contour. He hates that. And very vocal about it. Alright, I might need to just blend that a little bit with a blending sponge or something. I mean, it's a good color actually for contour. He's choosing well. So continuing with that contour color, he just does a little bit up here. So he's not like a major, you know, design your face with contour kind of guy. He's doing a little bit in this kind of temple area, and he's taking the edge of the brush, which is weird, and doing the side of his nose. Let me see where. He does kind of like what I'm doing. I guess it will work, edge of the brush, but it's a little bit clunky. Douse a bunch of brown down there. It was a quick way to do contour, that's for sure. So using a color very similar to his is going to be this one here. This is Strike a Rose in the blush palette from Scott Barnes. I'm using all Scott Barnes just to keep it simple. And he's taking that same brush that we used in our powder earlier, and then he's just really making a blushy tapping motion, making sure it's above, you know, above where he did the contours. So he likes this tapping thing a lot. I'm not used to tapping as much as he is. I like, you know, probably sweep a little more. Tapping, Robert.
I personally like to take mine.
He likes to take it up here a little bit.
That 80s feel.
80s feel. That's me. I'm 80s. Ooh, it's quite light. Let me see if I have something. Well, we found this Becca in Vanilla Quartz. It's just way lighter, and he just goes ahead and takes the same brush, but he uses the tip of it, and he just kind of does up here. He doesn't like to go crazy with that highlighter. He likes to just boop boop, little bit, boop boop boop, boop boop boop, boop boop, boop. So now he's gonna just take a little bit of lip gloss. He's not even doing lip liner. He's not doing anything like that. Just lip gloss. Gosh, I need to do a Scott Barnes video because I'm using all Scott Barnes stuff today. This is a Scott Barnes lip gloss in Hey Sis, and it looks similar in color. That's why I chose it. And he doesn't like a lot of product on his lips, so he just likes. I'm hoping that we get to finish these eyes soon. Okay, so he quickly went on to Mascara and Lashes off camera, so I was able to do that. And you know, boy, I'll tell you what, it is different. Here's what's happening is it's definitely changing the shape of the eye. It makes the eye rounder. It's kind of overall a like sort of softer. It's got a different look. I don't hate it. It's so many things are so very different. This looks way too high on the eye. I gotta pull these lashes down a little bit. Oh my Lanta. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. Hopefully that's a bit better. I like to lift the ends of my lashes a little bit, but because there's no liner on the top, I can't get away with as many little tricks. So I've got no eyeliner on the top, this halo eye going on, no rimming of the eye today. Like, we're gonna do some more intricate, he does some really intricate eye work, and I'm going to choose a different eye look for the next video. But you know, he's way softer with the contour. He's way softer with the face makeup overall. He doesn't like to go very heavy. Usually concealer. I don't think he recognizes mature under eyes who are very dark, like mine. I'm a rare case as it is. Most people who are mature would love this because he's just putting a little concealer here and a little concealer here, and that does work for most mature women, no problem. But I really believe in putting a bit of foundation under the eye first. That I don't like, because the concealer on dry or, you know, bare skin like that really brings out the lines, and that's one thing that I definitely notice. You know, with this, looking in the mirror, I just hate looking at my under eyes because they look crustier and I can see the texture more underneath the eyes. Because he doesn't, you know, do much here with the lips, he doesn't like lips on himself, we're just doing lip gloss, which is, you know, I probably wouldn't do on a normal basis, but it is nice and pretty for a change to have something like this. And if it wasn't for following these tutorials, I probably would never do it. I'd always line my lips, I'd always fill them in. So it's kind of nice to do this. It's a fresher look to me. Yeah, so I mean, hey, let me get used to it, see what you guys think of it yourself, and please comment below if you do give this a try. I just absolutely love to hear from you. And I don't think you guys realize how much liking and subscribing means to us YouTubers who are slogging away. Sometimes it takes 2-3 years to get your YouTube channel moving and you know, kind of growing on its own. It really is a struggle in the beginning to kind of grow it. It's slow, but I don't mind. I will take 1 or 2 great people watching. It's fine with me, but really appreciate if you can like and subscribe and comment. It makes a world of difference to the algorithm and to my heart as well. So have a great day, you guys. Tomorrow we're going to be abandoning ship and talking about how to write a book. I'm hoping it all goes well tomorrow. If anything happens and this video doesn't show up, it's because the lady didn't show up. But I think every one of us has a book inside of us. And I know it's a departure from makeup, but this is a mature beauty lifestyle self-help channel. And if you've always thought of writing a book, or you've thought about you know, even if it's for your family, where you sort of are documenting a legacy about yourself, I think it's so cool. And we'll be talking about writing your own book tomorrow, and then I'll continue on with Robert after that. Take care, you guys, and have a great day. Bye.